Hello and welcome back to Everything Boats with Captain Frank Lanier, where we discuss boats and boating, from maintenance and repairs to seamanship and safety, as well as everything in between. This podcast is a companion to my YouTube channel of the same name, so if you like and find it useful, be sure to subscribe and please check out my YouTube channel as well, where you'll find hundreds of informative videos on pretty much every boating topic imaginable. Today we're going to be discussing how to change your stern drive and outboard lower unit lube oil. As with any maintenance procedure, the easier it is to do, the more likely that it'll get done. So that's the goal of this video here, to make it easier for you to change your lube oil in hopes that it'll get done. And that in turn increases the service life of your engine, gives you personal satisfaction, the joy of maintaining your boat. You go out, you buy a winning lottery ticket, all the good stuff follows after you maintain your boat. So stern drive and outboard manufacturers typically recommend changing your lower unit lube oil every 50 to 100 hours, or at least once a season. And just to clarify, when I say stern drive, that also is a stern drive and an out drive. You may use the different terms, but they're the same thing, stern drive, out drive. Okay, so owners of new units may have additional requirements, such as changing the lube oil after the first 10 or 20 hours during the break-in period. So if you've got a new boat, you want to make sure that you verify with the manufacturer what your break-in procedure is for changing the lube oil. First up is reading the owner's manual to determine the proper amount and type of lube oil recommended by the manufacturer. Next, you want to gather up your essentials listed in the owner's manual. These will typically include new vent and drain screw gaskets for O-rings, a large flathead screwdriver, and a container large enough to catch and hold the old oil. Another useful tool is a lube oil pump, although in some cases, smaller outboards, for example, the squeezable tube or container the lube oil comes in can be used to add the new lube oil. So the first step is going to be removing the old oil. Stern drives and outboard lower units have a drain and a vent screw to facilitate lube oil changes. Oil drains out of the bottom screw while the top screw allows air to enter, breaking the vacuum and speeding up the draining process. To drain the oil, place the drive in a vertical upright position and position the container underneath the unit, beneath the drain screw. Using a screwdriver, remove the drain screw plug, followed next by the vent screw, allowing the oil to drain to the container. And keep in mind, this can take several minutes depending on the size of the outboard or the stern drive, the capacity of it. As with engine oil ATF fluid, as we talked about previously, and I'll put links for both of those videos in the comments section or the description below. Always check your old lube oil for signs of potential issues. It should be similar in appearance and smell to the new lube oil. If it has a pungent or burnt smell, you'll want to have your lower unit inspected by a professional before use. Likewise, if the oil looks milky, a sign of water contamination, or contains metal fillings, you want to have that checked as well. Many drain plugs are magnetic to collect these metal bits, making their presence more obvious. So you take out the drain plug, you look at the inside of it, it's got metal bits and stuff on there. That's an indication you need to have the unit professionally inspected. Now let's talk about adding in the new lube oil. First, you want to connect the lube oil pump hose to the drain, the bottom hole, and start pumping. If using a squeeze bottle or a tube, simply insert the end far enough into the drain hole to make a seal and begin squeezing. Continue pumping or squeezing till the lube oil begins to flow from the top vent screw hole, the upper opening, right? So you're pumping it or squeezing it, and you're gradually filling it up until it reaches that vent hole, right? So once you keep pumping until the lube oil flows freely from that vent. Once that lube oil is flowing steadily and free of air bubbles, that indicates that the lower unit is full. With the pump hose or squeeze tube still in place, install the vent screw. Okay, this creates a slight vacuum that will help minimize oil loss while you reinstall the drain plug, the lower plug. Then you're going to disconnect the pump hose from the drain tube and quickly install the drain plug. You can use your finger as a temporary plug if needed while you're pulling out the pump or the tube, and you hold it in place, and then you put the plug itself and get it started and screw it in. Of course, you want to do this as quickly as possible to minimize lube loss. Hand tighten both the lower and upper drain plugs with the screwdriver and clean any oil residue from your lower unit. In other words, once you get that bottom one in, you just snug them up hand tight, the bottom and the top vent, and then you wipe any oil away and from your lower unit. And that's as hard as it gets. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. And if so, and you want to buy Captain Frank a cup of coffee, please click on the support link in the text description below. All monies received, not spent on coffee, will go towards making even more awesome podcasts for my channel. And as always, thank you for your support.